We are super excited to have Kevin David here. He's talking all things Amazon and he is a master of it. So I am honestly just going to let him take it away and get you some really hands-on training in Amazon. Thanks for being here, Kevin. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so thanks for having me, Maya. It's been fun working with Ryan and everybody at Digital Marketer, and I'm excited, right? Because I think, in my own opinion, and I think the opinions of a lot of other people, Amazon is one of, if not the best opportunities right now to make money online, to be able to build a business and to leverage, one of the largest companies in the entire world, the infrastructure that they've built to build something for yourself that would be very difficult to do otherwise.
So we can just go kind of in order here, but how much money and time should you expect to put in before making a profit?
Yeah, that's a good question, and one of the most common questions that I get. I mean, for me, it took me about 90 days, but I also taught myself everything from scratch. Like if a course or like a mentor existed, and I'm not just saying this because I have one, I would have, jumped at it in a second because you can just, with the right mentor, whether it's digital marketer or anybody else that you kind of vibe with and believe in, you really, what that does is it just expedites your the learning curve, right? It allows you to not make the same mistakes, not have to do all the trial and error. And so if you want to teach yourself and do all of that, right, you can do it for free on YouTube, right? It's going to be harder. You're probably going to make mistakes. You're probably going to feel overwhelmed, but it's certainly possible. I did that path myself. I would allocate, 90 days plus or minus. If you want to, join some sort of mentorship or kind of, shorten the learning curve and shorten the process, you can do it even faster than that.
All right, another question here. Should you make a separate website for your FBA brand?
No, definitely not. There's no point in doing that, right? I mean, the whole reason that Amazon is such a powerful business is they have hundreds of millions of customers literally on the site every single day buying things like, from groceries to toothbrushes to inflatable stand-up paddle boards, right? And so, the kind of cool part about Amazon is you don't have to make your own website. You don't have to fulfill any of the products yourself. Amazon does so much of the difficult parts for you that you can literally focus all of your time on finding profitable products and then just building strong listings and literally just kind of sitting back and relaxing once you do that upfront work.
Absolutely. Yeah, Amazon is really kind of driving its own traffic there. So,
Yeah, and by the way, I have that link for you. I did
oh,
tell you
awesome.
that, since you guys are so awesome to have me on, I wanted to give everybody in your audience kind of a free little mini course to get their feet wet, go into even more detail. Obviously, I can't go through everything on one, short little training. So I just wanted to give you guys some free value to, if you guys are interested. I think there's going to be a link down below this in the replay where you guys can click it, and it's just a completely free course that you guys can have as my gift to all of you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I know people are definitely going to take you up on that because there's a lot more to be learned here for sure.
For sure.
One more question, or we got a couple more questions here. Should you make different brands for different types of products, like packaging tape versus the snowplow kit, or can they all fall under one brand?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the answer to that is a lot of people kind of misconstrue the value of a brand, but just think about it for yourself and think logically, right? When I buy products on Amazon every single day, right? I could not tell you one of those products' brand names, right? Honestly, I have no idea, right? Because what I really care about and what everyone really cares about on Amazon is, does it have a reasonable price? Does it have, strong looking pictures? And does it have, a reasonable amount of high quality reviews? Right? And if it meets those three things, then no one really cares about anything else. And so, I have a lot of brands that have, a ton of different completely non-related products, but just all happen to meet the same profitability requirements, right? And so what I would say for that one is just make sure that they meet the due diligence requirements of product research, right? The sweet spot of revenue under a certain amount of reviews over a certain price, kind of like we talked about.
Yeah, awesome. Another question here, would a seasonal product be a positive or a negative, and do you change up products based on the season?
Yeah, this is a great question. You guys have such a smart audience. I love that. Yeah, so I mean, there's two sides of the coin, right? Generally, people say don't go for seasonal products, right? Because that means that, for some portion of the year, you're not going to necessarily have as many sales. But I also know people that sell, paper plates with a football on them for Super Bowl parties that make like $100,000 in a month. Right. And so, there's always two sides of the coin. I have other friends that sell, Christmas stockings and gingerbread houses and things like that make a huge amount of money in a small amount of time and then make no money for the rest of the year. So, if you can plan an inventory forecast correctly, you can make seasonal products work really well, right? But in general, for most people, especially starting out, I do recommend going for non-seasonal products until you have a little bit more expertise. And then you can, really plan ahead and do seasonal products once you kind of understand a little bit more about what's going on.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. Last question here. Could you create bundles with different products / brands with FBA, like a subscription box type thing?
Yeah, so subscription boxes, are kind of more a fit for the Shopify model, just to be honest, right? Because I mean, you can create a subscription box, but you just have to have it as one SKU, right? Where you have all of the different things. Like for example, a good example of a subscription box is like a travel kit, right? Like if you went and looked at like a travel kit on Amazon, they might have, some like it has like a little travel size toothpaste and mouthwash and all the things that you might need if you're going on a trip to Europe, for example, right? So you can do it that way. But if you're going to do like a subscription box, you want to have all of the different products and all of the different things in one SKU, one what's called ASIN, which is Amazon's kind of unique identifier for their products, and then it would basically be sold as one individual product, right? And so bundling is actually a very common thing that Amazon sellers actually do, where essentially what they're doing is they're finding different products that are frequently bought together or that people would want together, and then they put them as one product, and then that is ultimately how they differentiate.
Got it. That makes a whole lot of sense. That was our last question. So thank you again so much for being here. I grabbed that link from you, so that will be in the resource section in the recording. And again, for anyone in the audience that's not a lab member yet, here's what joining lab gets you. There's a link to a lab free trial. There will be a link to the mini course. Kevin, you're awesome. Thank you so much.